Mike Waltz was pushed out as National Security Advisor yesterday, and while it's not a major surprise after his role in the Signalgate fiasco, he was certainly not the first guy most of us believed would be shown the door. Moreover, the lack of a succession plan and the potential reshuffling of musical chairs for Waltz and others is Exhibit 2782 that this is an administration not ready for prime time. Mike Waltz apparently did not only doom his appointment by including an Atlantic magazine editor on a confidential planning chat, but additionally didn't play well with the viper's nest that is the West Wing. As idiotic as Waltz's actions were, and as justifiable a fireable offense as his security breach was, he apparently made enemies in MAGA land by daring to consider holding Russia to account for their invasion. This was punctuated by conspiracist and 9/11 denier Laura Loomer personally lobbying Trump for Waltz's scalp, claiming he wasn't loyal enough. Now, this ought to petrify all of us, regardless of your politics, that someone so unhinged has this level of access and influence on our president. Next question. Why is Waltz gone and Hegseth still around? Beyond being woefully unqualified and morally disqualified, he has proven in 100 days that between Signalgate and the chaos he has caused at the Pentagon, that Hegseth was even worse than his biggest critics could have imagined. But apparently, Trump likes the way Pete looks, and Hegseth makes sucking up to the president an art form. I'm telling you, even Hegseth's allies that he brought along with him to the Pentagon are on record as saying they know he's a walking disaster. And this story will only get worse for the president and, more important, our national security. Then, that brings us to who succeeds Mike Waltz. If I can digress for a moment, the National Security Advisor is a hugely important position, especially when you have a president in Trump who is notorious for his incuriosity. Trump never even bothers to read his daily briefings, let alone inform himself when it comes to foreign policy. Here is where the NSA is so critical: to prioritize the global landscape and assessments of the risks and the pros, as well as the cons, of a presidential action. Reportedly, Trump tried unsuccessfully to convince Steve Witkoff, his Middle East envoy, to take the gig. Witkoff has been an unmitigated disaster at this point, with no experience whatsoever in this field, repeatedly showing his incompetence on a global stage and ignorance of basic geography and world history. Witkoff, if you remember, is the same guy who has praised Putin, said Hamas could have an ongoing role in the Middle East, and even defended Syria's Assad. So a collective thank you that Steve said thanks, no thanks. So then, you ask, who should hold this critical role? I'm glad you asked. A normal person would assume that a rational president wouldn't make this change if he didn't have a succession plan in place. So, of course, that's not what happened yesterday. No, Marco Rubio, who kind of already has a pretty important job that takes him out of the country on a regular basis as Secretary of State, he's now apparently going to do double duty for the foreseeable future. In a stunning reveal, Rubio's spokesperson, when asked yesterday on live TV about the appointment, admitted she was learning about it in real time. So let me be clear. Waltz needed to go, but other heads should have rolled before his, and a plan would have been nice to shepherd the next phase of our national security. No, this episode is a reminder for the amnesiacs out there. Just like in his first term, Trump is only getting started in a Game of Thrones where public genuflection is much more important than actual competency. Yesterday portended more instability, if that's even possible, and we as a nation are less secure for it. We only have another 1,358 days more of this nonsense.